Hi there, and welcome back to the dojo. This is Comic Book Black Belt. Got a video for you today, which is a screen capture of some digital inking for a set of warriors. The one, particularly the one I'm doing here, is a shield maiden. But there were several warriors you can see from the pencils in the background. And this was for Draw the Marvel Way for the comics extras section, and it was talking about warriors through time. There was also a depiction of Kang, and also an ape like a caveman, which I'll also be showing in a video at a later date. On to the discussion, I suppose, of the moment. I was watching a couple of videos, one from Marsh Makes Comics, and the other one from TenNaple. I'm not going to get into any arguments about comicsgate. I really don't give a monkeys about that. I'm talking about artists. I'm separating the art from the artists, and I'm not interested in any of that. What I'm interested in is what TenNaple had to say and what Marsh had to say about making money in comics, and they were both referring to an article that was up on the internet a little while ago, just a couple of days, and it got a bit of a backlash as well from what I can tell from their videos. But both of these guys are inspirational. Marsh Makes Comics. Marshall holds down a job. I saw a video of his where he'd got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He was still doing 15 minutes of his comic before he got out to his job. I mean, that's super impressive. This guy's committed. And he wants to make money out of his comics eventually. He has some lower targets as far as what he considers is good enough to get a return from his endeavours, but he still wants to get something from it. And obviously TenNaple has had a very successful career, starting off obviously with what he's most well known for, which would be Earthworm Jim, but he's also had a book go for I think it was over $100,000. I'm not quite sure. Over on Indiegogo, and he's had other work. He's been in the mass media for a long time, in the entertainment industry for 30 years. So as far as making money is concerned, it is possible. I feel for younger people trying to get into the comics industry in general, because it's difficult. It's not a well-paid industry as far as page rates are concerned, and that's where I came at the comic industry. That was how I expected to enter the comics industry. Some history on myself. Back in 1995, I was accepted by Marvel as a penciler. The new talent scout at the time was a guy called Louis Lewandowski, and we had very nice conversations via snail mail. And he said he would put my work around the editors. Nothing ever came of that for one reason or another. I know that they had Chapter 11, I think it was around that time, but I won't just blame that. Things just didn't happen, and in a lot of ways I don't think I was ready anyway, but he thought I was. But nothing came of it, and I went away, had a career, kids, house, mortgage, all that kind of stuff, and I was in design and production for a long time. I had my own business as well, where I did web production, art directed, designed, created, produced, whatever, up until 2009, when it all came to a natural end, and I decided I wanted to chase drawing comics. Well, I'd had a career. I had money in the bank. I mean, I'm not loaded or anything, but I had a stable lifestyle, and my wife supported me, and we decided to downsize. So I had some investment money of my own to invest into myself. And so I decided to go and try to draw comics, and instantly my thoughts were get a page rate, get a daily rate. As a kid, I'd seen the Marvel ball pen, however real that or unreal that was or wasn't, and I knew that it was page rates that were the key to this, how to make money. I soon found out that I was nowhere near good enough in 2009 when I started, and needed that magical 10,000 hours of experience. So I set about working for indies, because I could take chances, because I had money in the bank. Again, not oodles. I still had to go and do other jobs. I had to teach for a while. I taught martial arts, I taught art, picked up other jobs, the odd coding job and what have you, and I built up my own personal business, and that was how I came at the art, at the comic strip production. It was a business, it was something I loved doing, but what I always wanted to do, what was the pinnacle of what I wanted to be, was to be paid to draw comics. So that was what I wanted, and I worked hard. I did some graphic novels for Marcosia, which I still haven't received any money for, but that's not the point. I was getting real production experience, and then I worked for a few smaller companies. I still do some work for Unstoppable Comics, and I still don't get much of a rate from them. Jay pays me what he can, and that's great. And I see some fantastic books that he comes out with, not just my books but other books in the Unstoppable stable. And he does proper superhero books, and it's a joy to work for them. But it's only because I've been able to take those chances on lower paid gigs, because I had a career prior to drawing comics. So that's why I say I really feel for younger people who want to get into comics, because you've got to pay your rent and your food and still have a life. So from that perspective, when people talk about, oh, can you make money? Can you make $1 million? Can you make money out of drawing comics? It's hard. It's difficult. But what you do need is to keep at it. Now, I've got some rules here. I've just put these up in the video. Things have changed. Like I say, I wanted to go for a page rate, a daily rate, whatever it might be, and I've got that by drawing Doctor Who, by drawing spreads for Draw the Marvel Way, and drawing for Cartoon Network. But that part of the industry, that way of making money off a page rate, it's not as prevalent as it was, and the industry is changing. Whether you believe it's doing fine or not, there is no doubt that the industry is changing. And my personal view is that what you need to be now is you need to be an entrepreneur. It's like I say, it's not just about a page rate. It's about getting out there and being a recognisable figure that people want to buy things from. Now a lot of people are producing they're producing channels. And they're making them entertainment, and that's not something I believe that I can do. But I can discuss and impart my views on comics, on comic art, and try and get some kind of feedback. And YouTube seems to be the place to be to do that. So, as you can see from the sort of the points I've put down, maybe some rules for myself, is that you really need to grow your audience and a fan base. I have a very small one at the moment because of the work that I've done, but I'm hoping to really grow that on my channel. I have to keep up a web presence, which is really quite hard, especially when you're on your own. But you need to be, putting stuff on Twitter or up on YouTube, Facebook, Minds, whatever it is that you're into, and keep it up there. Okay. Do not ever stop. This is just from an artistic perspective rather than a writing perspective. Don't ever stop drawing, ever. Just keep doing it. All the artists from way back, all they did was draw and draw and draw. My favourite artist, John Buscema, all he did was draw. I know that's difficult. You've got a life and you've got a family, but you must put the 10,000 hours in. You must keep doing it, because otherwise you just will not be good enough. And you need to get plenty of that feedback and critique. That's the next point. You must get a critique. Don't get upset because people say, sorry, that just isn't working for me, or your figure drawing isn't good enough. Go away and make it better. Take the critiques, take the feedback. Obviously, people need to be polite, but at the same time, you can't just be upset because somebody tells you that your work just isn't cutting it. Go away, make it work. Be an entrepreneur, just not just an artist. Think about that, growing the channel and making things, like have a shop. That's something else that I'm going to start doing, is once I bring my book to market, which I will eventually. I keep talking about this in the videos, and at some point I will make an announcement. But you also, have an Etsy shop or whatever, and have t-shirts and mugs. You have to be entrepreneurial about this. You have to think about how else you can get to market. The other thing is, be patient or lucky. If you can't be lucky, definitely be patient. I was patient. I was patient for 25 years. Okay, I went away, had a career, and then did what I did. I built myself up, and I got into a position where I could invest in myself, believe in myself, and go out there and do it. So you must be patient. You must keep at it. If it's something you truly want to do and love, you must keep at it, and that's the persistence. That final point that I've got written down there. Persistence won't get you all the way. You must have talent. Don't fool yourself. We're in an X Factor society where lots of people want to do lots of things that they don't necessarily, it's not necessarily their bag, it's not necessarily something that matches their skill sets. Go do what you love, yes, but don't fool yourself. So put in the 10,000 hours, expand your abilities, make sure that you have those skills, and keep telling stories. For sequential art, for comic strips, it's storytelling that is the most important thing, and getting your basics correct, like anatomy, and just general stuff that you have to draw, making it feel right in the world that you create. So going back to the two videos I was talking about, or the two people, TenNaple and Marsh Makes Comics as Marshall, they were both inspirational, because Doug was really trying to say, look, get out there and do it. You can do it. Be that person. Don't whinge about it. Get out there and do it. And although Marsh is not in that position of making the money that other people are making, he is doing it. He's an inspiration because he's working so hard, and he's producing great stuff, and he's producing stuff on his channel as well, and creating an environment where people can talk to each other and discuss about comics. So he's even giving back before he's actually got anything. I mean, Doug TenNaple can say, oh, I'm giving back because I'm giving advice after 30 years, but Marsh is still a very young guy, and he's out there giving back, and he's not got that success yet, but he's working so hard. He's very talented, and he's a true inspiration. So let's stop arguing with each other. Let's be cool and get out there and make books. Be real, work hard, and practice, and get a good quality product out there, and be an entrepreneur. Make it work for yourself. I've managed to make money drawing comics, and I expect to make more, simply because I believe in what I'm doing, and I think that I'm getting to a point where my skill sets are getting there, that I can actually create a product that people will want to buy. So thanks for listening. Hopefully you'll leave a comment, discuss this whole issue with me, and also my art. Hopefully you enjoyed the digital inking that I was showing here. Please like, share and subscribe, and do remember the first 500 subscribers. Once I've got to 500, I'll be doing a prize draw, and a couple of free graphic novels will go out anywhere in the world. So please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the dojo real soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye. Thanks for watching Comic Book Black Belt. If you've enjoyed the content from this video, please like, share or subscribe, and come over and follow me on Twitter. It's been great having you in the dojo. See you again soon.